Good morning. We are with the Coastal Animation Studios, and I go by the name Isaac Eshun. And here's my colleague Ishmaila Ayayiku. And we involve ourselves in 3D modeling. So our presentation, we are going to present on the topic, preserving our heritage through the digital reconstruction of our historic sites in Ghana. So please, the slide. Next slide, please. Okay, so for Coastal Animation Studios, we are a cutting-edge company that is focused on digital entertainment and designs. That is, we specify in the development of games, designs, and simulations. Our team is made up of Dr. Stephen Moore, a senior lecturer in the University of Cape Coast, Ishmaila Ayayiku, an NSP currently working at Ubuntu Technologies, myself currently working at GRA, and Dawson Amwa working at Garnet, Ghana. Okay. So with the preservation of our historic sites, Coastal Animation currently we are working on developing 3D models of our historic sites in this country. And in the digitalization of the historical places, we are targeting castles like Cape Coast Castle, Elmina Castle, forts like Fort Amsterdam. We are also trying to bring the virtual experience of being in these places and also its cost-effective nature. So to talk about the problems being faced in the preservation of these historical sites, we talk about the high cost of maintenance. That is, a high amount of money is required in the process of constantly maintaining these historical sites and the degradation of these structures. In as much as the maintenance is being done, it would in time degrade faster than the rate of its maintenance, in the end making it risky for even people to visit these places, and transportation risk to people who come from remote areas. Also the loss of interest in our culture by the younger generations. So we'll be talking about some of our solutions to the problems. Next slide, please.
So with the solutions, we want to, our initiative is going to create a sense of virtual experience and feel as though you are there, whilst generating revenue and promoting tourism. This is going to cost you less to maintain because it's digital, and also going to preserve our cultural heritage. To make all this initiative possible, there are some equipments and tools that we need to make all this possible. So we need a high-end computer, a monitor, camera, drone, microphone, headset, routers, motion suits, and a computer drawing tablet. So I'll now demonstrate how the Cape Coast Castle is.
So before the demonstration, in as much as we are focused on creating 3D models of our historical sites, there are also other use cases where our initiative can be incorporated into, and that is in the tourism, education, the healthcare, architecture, engineering, and entertainment. So we'll take the first one, which is the healthcare, then list a few problems and solutions to them. So with the problems, we have high cost of training and education, and also training equipment. So with our initiative, we plan to help in the development of 3D simulations, 3D simulation models to help aid in the teaching of their medical students. And with the use of the technology or the equipment that they use, we plan to use the 3D models to create these models rather than using high amounts of money to import or use these equipment. So the medical students will in turn have a virtual feel of actually using the models. The next sector is in the architecture.
Also in the architecture sector, there are some problems like poor design visualization, where you see a design like this and maybe you, a user, and maybe the architecture gives you something like this. How do you expect to understand all this thing? So with the solution, we are going to provide you with an efficient and efficiently designed visual display of a 3D model of the place. So you're able to see a preview of the building before you even try to do any editing or that. And also with the interior design, something like a hostel management system or anywhere, you can have a 3D model of the whole place. You can have a preview of the place before you even make any purchase, if you want it. So let's go back to the demonstration.
Please, you're having a problem with the demonstration. It doesn't seem to be working with the system. So the demonstration is an app we created of Cape Coast Castle with a character going around the place. So first, it was designed to be interactive, where we can use that app to go around the place and learn about Cape Coast Castle. And in the later times to come, we plan to make it into a game, making it interactive, making it an adventure game. So that is the whole idea of the demonstration we're about to give. So it's a simple app where there is a character moving around Cape Coast Castle, as in a tour of Cape Coast Castle. Thank you. Okay, good. So this is the tour. So as you can see, we used the modifiers or features that assisted us in creating these features. Modifiers like Boolean modifiers, array modifiers, where you can see here started from scratch with a brick or a cube. That is what all this was generated from. So using the features I mentioned, we're able to construct Cape Coast Castle. There is the sea, there are the cannons, and the other part of Cape Coast Castle. So this is just like a first step to digitalizing our historical site. We'll move on to Elmina Castle, Fort Amsterdam, to create these historical sites in Ghana. Thank you.
So now, judges, your first contestant is ready.
Well done. I commend your bravery in handling the challenge of technology not helping you, but you have demonstrated knowledge of your product by being able to explain. I would like to ask, how do you guarantee accuracy? Because what you are doing has the potential of going far, children getting to use such applications. How are you guaranteeing accuracy of representation?
Okay, so what we see here was done with low-end machines. We did it without good equipment, and it was all done in a short frame of time. That is just less than 2 weeks, because we didn't have enough time for it. And even that's the result of what we did. We could actually bring up the whole of Cape Coast Castles. So with enough resources, with the right resources to work on this project, there is probably 100% chance that it's going to go well with the project. So depending on the resources, the right resources.
At this point, I would say that CSIR Building and Road Research Institute have the scientists and technologists that could also help you. So you could fall on the CSIR Building and Road Research Institute for assistance in that regard.
Okay.
As well as CSIR Insti. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so that's a good one. I admire your courage to go into a very important industry or aspect of our culture to try to keep the knowledge of these monuments going. I commend you for that. I didn't think I heard clearly. So, for example, if we take another castle, for example, how long would you take you to be able to animate this? Okay. How long?
So, like I said, with the Cape Coast Castle, took us barely 2 weeks to build. And comparing Fort Abanzi to Cape Coast Castle is way bigger than Fort Abanzi. So even with our normal sets right now, it could take us less than 2 weeks to finish Fort Amsterdam.
Okay.